This is IT Johnny, and we will be working on installing a Moonbeam node. We're going to be going the Docker method, so we're going to be installing Moonbeam with Docker. So with this particular tutorial, we're going to go not in depth with Docker, but we're just going to install Docker, look at the procedures to install Docker, and we're going to follow the build chart that I have created. It's in PDF format, so I have that link in the description to where you can open up the PDF file and follow along as well. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up the PDF document so you can see what it looks like. Alright, and here we go. So here's the PDF document. Alright, let me go ahead and get this CentOS Docker text out the way so we can see it better. There we go. So, alright, and we're going to be following the Docker recommendations. I'll be using CentOS version 7, but it works as well just on CentOS version 8. We will be needing CentOS extras enabled. It could cause issues if it's not, so we'll go over tips on how to get that enabled. Now let's get started. So one thing we'll be needing to make sure is that if you have an older version of Docker, go ahead and remove that. Again, based off the recommendations for from Docker. But we don't have any older versions, so we're just going to go ahead and get started. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to part 2 of this, which is install utilities. So we're going to grab this first command right here. And we're going to let's go to the command line. We're going to enter that command in. I'm just going to enter it in. So mine is already have the utilities installed, so I have nothing to do on this machine. So yours might have to install, but it shouldn't take that long to install the utilities, the yum utilities. So after you finish that, let's go back to the build chart. Next, we're going to add the repositories for Docker. So we're just going to grab this. Alright, we're going to go over back to the command line and enter that in. Now, if you are not aware, the sudo part of this command is a privilege, gives you enhanced privileges to run certain commands, which need enhanced privileges to run certain commands. Now, the backslash is added for extra arguments for the command, as you can see. These are extra added arguments, and it gives you these these greater than symbols right here. But no worries, just hit enter and the command gets ran, and now we have the repositories for Docker on your CentOS system. Now all we have left to do is install Docker, and to do that we will copy this right here. And we're going to install Docker this way. Let's go back to our command line. Oops, there we go. And yum is the package manager for CentOS, and nothing to do on this point either. We already have Docker installed, but there we go. Yum is installed. I mean, not yum, but Docker is installed. Now that command will pull all the needed packages from the repository that we added before this. Now what we're going to do is we are going to actually just start Docker. So we're going to grab this here. We're just going to enter it in to start Docker up. And that should start Docker for you. Now, if you want to verify that Docker is installed and it's running good, then we can quickly just run, and I don't have this on the documentation, but I should add it here, and I think I will add it if I don't forget. But we're going to do this command right here to verify if Docker is installed. So let's do this. Docker run hello world. Oh, so we need to do it as sudo. We need enhanced privileges to get the correct permission. So, and there we have it. You might get an error that says this package or this image or is not found. No worries. Docker will download the hello world application, so to say, and run it for you. If it's not already, I've already run it, so we already have it here. So that concludes the CentOS portion of. Oh, before we go any further, I forgot. So if you have issues with installing Docker, or the repositories didn't take well, this command didn't take well when you did this, or the install didn't work, or maybe you can't even start Docker, or something's happened, we might need to make sure you have CentOS extras enabled on the platform. So what we're going to do is, I have down here at the bottom a section to where you can actually we go through of how we can fix this, hopefully fix the issue that might be causing you not to be able to install Docker or add repositories. So what we're going to do is we want to edit a file in this directory. So we can list the files in that directory. We just grab that right there, this command right here, and that's a lowercase ls. So we'll go back to the command line. Now you can navigate to it as well and check it, but we're just going to check it from here. And these are all the files within that directory. We're going to go ahead and check this file out right here. As you know, I have it marked here. We're going to view this file below, and we can view that file with this command right here. Now what are we looking for? We're actually going to be looking for, to make sure that this section is in that file. So we're looking for this extras syntax in line, and pretty much the rest of it goes with it. So let's go ahead and check out that that file to see if it's in there. Oops. All right. Again, just do this command right here, and it should show the contents of the file. I just edited it. Alright, so let's hit enter, and it's going to show us the contents of the file. So there's other, I guess you could say, modules in that file. And that's not it right there, and here it is right here. So if you have it, this section in the file, and you still have issues, then we might need to add an extra line in there. It should be enabled by default. If this is in there, it should be enabled by default. The extras should be enabled. But if it's still not working, even with this line even with this section being in there, then what we can do is we can add this line to that section within that file. We'll add this line to it. Now, if you don't have this section at all, just go ahead and copy this. You don't really need this right here, but you can copy this part right here as well. But just make sure you copy this, everything that's highlighted right here, and then go ahead and add it. Oops. Go ahead and add it to this file in here. You can add it at the bottom. It's no big deal. So how do we edit this file? Well, what we can do is just go to your advanced privileges with sudo Nano, which is a text editor, and hit enter. So that takes you to the file so you can be able to edit it. Now then just scroll down to where this portion is, and hit we're going to put that enabled equals 1 in between these two right here, based off, you know, documentation placement from the Docker where they got it at. Not Docker, but CentOS. Now, if you don't have Nano installed, then the way that you can install it on CentOS is by using this command right here, sudo yum install nano, and it will install this right here, so you can be able to use the text editor to edit this file. So what we're going to do is we're just going to enabled equals 1. Again, if you have this section, oops, or where'd it go? Let me see. Oh, you still can't see it. All right, there we go. So we're going to just have enabled wasn't typing equals 1. So again, if you don't have this section in there, just go and copy it from the file and paste it in here, and go ahead and add enabled equals 1, just, you know, just for the sake of it. Or you can play around with it, just paste that section in here, save it, and see if it works. If it doesn't, come back and add the enabled equals 1. But nonetheless, if you want to save it, save this file, just write it. So how you write it is, the letter next to it is O, and this caret right here is the control button. So control O will save it, and hit enter, and that saves it. Exit, you know, the X is next to the exit word, so it'll be control X to exit. Alright, now we can check the contents of the file again. Oops. Scroll up, and we see we now have the enabled in there. We didn't before. But there's one more thing we have to do to be able to make that take effect, or we have to clear the cache for that particular. We're going to clear the cache pretty much to make sure everything is cleared out and it reloads, you know, anything new. So I don't have that command on the document, so we're going to add that later. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to type in, let me bring up the command prompt. So we're going to type in yum clean all, and that's going to clear the cache out. And now what you need to do, if you had any issues, just go back up to the top to the purple section to phase 1. We're in phase 1 right now, which is Docker build, and go ahead and redo these steps right here and see if it works. So that pretty much sums up the CentOS version portion of phase 1 for installing Docker on CentOS. We're going to move on to Ubuntu. I'll be using 18.04. So we're going to go to a quick intermission and hopefully take a quick break. It's going to be very quick, so hopefully you enjoy not listening to me, listening to something else, which is, I guess, still me. But we'll be right back. And we are back. So now we're going to move on to installing Docker for Ubuntu. Now it's pretty much the exact same for Debian. The only difference is we need to replace Ubuntu with Debian if you're going to use Debian. Let me bring my chart back up, and let me remove this Ubuntu so it won't be so messy up there. So now we're going to start the Ubuntu process. Just like with CentOS, if you have an older version of Docker on your system, go ahead and remove it with this. We're not worried about that right now, so we're going to move on to the next section, and we're going to update our packages. So go ahead and grab that. Upgrade your packages. Good to go there. Now we're going to install a couple of applications and things we're going to need that will help us out with our install. And so what that is, we're going to grab that right there. All right. Let's go ahead and add that. I already have all that installed, so not much happening for me. I did not mean to do that. If you do that accidentally, you accidentally get the caret there, just put Control-C, Control-Z. Anyways, so let's continue. Now, what we need to do is, bring this up. We need to install the Docker key. So we need to make sure we have the key for Docker installed on our system. So we're just going to copy this command right here. And I would actually rather you go to the bottom of the page. We have an actual Ubuntu section down here. And I would grab it from here instead, just in case to make sure the syntax is correct and there's nothing wrong with the syntax. Because the syntax could actually get messed up at the earlier stage, just because, you know, it's more closed in and syntax get messed up. So grab it from here and paste it in there. But you can grab it there from top. You might get an error. If you get an error, just go down there, grab it, and paste it in there, and do it from there. So we're going to grab this, which is the same thing from right here. So we're going to put that in there. I already have it, so it's asking me if I want to override it. I don't need to, so I'm just going to click no. I don't want it. Well, let's just put it in there. Yes, we can override it. It's no big deal. So we overridden it. I already had it. I overridden it, and it just takes the command. There's nothing real special with it. We're just grabbing keys for the for Docker. So then what we want to do now is we want to grab this next line. Again, if you have any issues with this when you enter it in, just go down to the bottom and grab it from here, because the syntax might be off, it might be messed up. So I will just grab it from there and then do it from here. So yeah, we're going to go back to the command and enter this in. Same thing here. Let me move my logo out the way so you can see. Overwrite. Yes, let's go on and overwrite it. Why not? Oh, wait a minute. This is yes. I accidentally grabbed the wrong command. That's the last command. That's the same command we just did. So I meant to grab this command right here. Now, there is a difference here when we're doing Ubuntu. The only difference here is between Ubuntu and Debian, before we go any further, is just make sure, I have it highlighted here, that you replace Ubuntu here and here with Debian if you're going to use a Debian install instead of Ubuntu. That's the only difference between the syntax, is making sure you have the correct Docker distribution for your platform here. So we're going to keep it here in Ubuntu, but if you're using Debian, make sure you put Debian down here, all lowercase, instead of Ubuntu. Just replace that. You got to make sure you do that, or you're going to have some real issues trying to install it. So we grab that. So make sure you grab this next. And we're going to install this. And that takes it. I don't have my command up, but I'll put it in again so you can see it. And it takes the command just like that. Nothing special. Now again, if you get any syntax errors like permission denied or anything of that nature, that probably just means that somewhere in the syntax it was messed up. So just go down to the bottom of the PDF and grab it from down here. And go ahead and put it from there. Right here the syntax is correct and good. There's no issues down here with the syntax. I've tested the syntax out, it's good. So if you have any issues upstairs with those, come downstairs and grab the syntax and put it in. You'll be good to go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to update our packages again now that we have some new information in our system. So we're going to grab this right here and update our system again. Alright, we're done with that. Now we're going to install Docker. I'm going to copy that. Go ahead and get Docker installed. And just let it finish. Once it's installed, you should be good to go. Now we can go ahead and start testing Docker on here. Let's see if we don't need oh, I'm backwards. Yep, you need to and we're good to go. We got the hello world to complete correctly. So we're good there, people. So if you have permission denied, just make sure you put sudo up there in front and enter it in, and you should be good. Again, if you don't have, if hello world is not locally on your system, it's going to say it doesn't have it locally, so it's going to then reach out to the servers, the Docker servers, and pull it down from the servers and run it. So that concludes the Ubuntu installing Docker portion of this. Now we're going to go and install the Moonbeam nodes with CentOS, and we're going to go from there. So we'll take another quick intermission and see you guys in a second. All right. So now we're going to go down to phase 2, and we're going to install our Moonbeam node, what we're all waiting for. So what we got to do here is create directory, set user for directory, run Docker, and if you run a collator, we got a section for that as well. Now you all can go through the Moonbeam website. They have pretty much the same exact. They are the same, so I can grab them from. So let's get started. Now I have not done these portions yet for my system, so what we're going to do is just going to, now these are the same for CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu. They're all this. It's all the same. but we're going to see for sure, right? Let's check. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a directory. And this is where we store our information at. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this right here and install. We're going to do it on both systems at the same time. We're not really going to pause, go back and forth. Intermission, we're just going to go straight for both of them. Alright. So we're on CentOS, make directory. And of course, we need our permissions people. Directory's made. We're going to go to our Ubuntu server, and we're going to run it there too. So I'll be sure to make sure I put the sudo commands in front, just in case. So we got the directory made, and we can verify that by typing ls, then just copy this right, or yeah, we can just copy this. There we go. So there's nothing in there at the moment, but it's there. Alright. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to change the owner of that file to a username that you want to change it to. So if you just want to use your current user, then just use this portion of it right here. But if you have multiple users on your system and you don't want to use your current user, then you can go ahead and just tell the system that you want to use a certain username instead of the one that you're currently running right now. Alright. So here's what we'll do with that, since we got two systems. From Ubuntu, we'll do the or for the CentOS version, we'll do we'll create a new user, and we'll tell it to use that username for this one. And for Ubuntu, we'll just tell it to use the current user. Alright, change the owner to the current user. Alright, so let's go ahead and add actually for Ubuntu we'll add a user, and for CentOS we'll just use the current user, since I have that one up first. Yeah. So we're just going to tell it, hey, to change owner to the current user. Which I'm not sure if that's going to work with me, since we'll see. Alright, now Ubuntu, we're going to add another user. Oops, I did not have that open, did I not? Alright, so all I did was just add the command there. Go back to my CentOS. So CentOS, we just added that command. Change owner, recursive, meaning for everything within that file, or in that directory, which is nothing in it right now, so it doesn't worry. The ID is of the current user, and the group is of the current user. So that's that right there. Now we're going to go to Ubuntu, we're going to add a user. So this, we do sudo add user. Let's call this one IT, right? We need a password. Not worried about all of that. Alright, so that's that. So we created a new user called IT. Alright, so what this means is we're going to change this. Alright, like I have over here. I said replace username with the user you want to start and run the node service as. So we're going to change this username, and this is directly from the Moonbeam tutorial page. So we're going to grab this right here. Going to copy that. Going to go back to our command. We're going to put that in there. Now we're going to change this portion of it to IT. TA. Bam. Now IT owns it. We can do ls-l. And we'll do this right here. And it should show all the users for that particular for this system. Now let's find our. Alright, here we go. So as you can see, IT is now the user who owns that particular folder. Alright, so, and if we do it on CentOS, oops. Oh man, this is like, we can see CentOS, that's my username for this current system, and the group is CentOS. We changed that for our alphanet data. So if we go back to the syntax again, remember, with this one we're changing the owner, the user, and the group. For this one we're just changing the username. So change owner and this is username. If we wanted to change the group this way, to change the group, I'll show you how to do that real quick. Oh, let's go to Ubuntu. So if you wanted to change not just the user, but the group, you would just put a semicolon here and then IT. I don't think I have a group IT. Do I? Okay, I do. So now if we do ls-l, oh, just up arrow, and we scroll up, now we have the group and the user as IT. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to run Docker. That's pretty much it at this point. We're going to run Docker, and well, we're going to run Docker with a few syntaxes in there, extra preferences to telling Docker what we want. So we're running Docker in network mode with the host, and we're telling it this is what we want to run. This is the application that we're going to pull down from the Docker's, I guess you could say, repository. And it's going to install PureStake Moonbeam version 0.8.0 using the current user and the current group that we're installing with, or that we have. So let's go in and grab this. And what we're going to do here as well, change this right here. I have a little placeholder here. Replace your node name with what you want your node to be named and show as in the Polkadot telemetry app. So change this right here to what you want it to be, show up as in the Polkadot telemetry app. So let's go in and go to where's my folder at? Okay, there we go. So let's go to CentOS. Let's go and enter all that in there. Now I'm gonna change my name to ITJJ JY. Y'all can't see it right now, but I'm editing my my node name. But we'll see when I push enter. ITJJ. Oh, JY. What did you do, JY? Go enter. Alright, so we can see it here. So I put, I changed it to ITJY. and for my for the name that's going to show up. Now this is for a full node. I do have in here an as they have on the Moonbase documentation. If you're running a collider, pina colada, make sure you add this line in the extra parameter section of this command. So in the documentation, they have theirs between execution wasm, and wasm is the WebAssembly. So I just, I like to try to keep things in order how they have it, but I don't think it really matters. But yeah, and let's actually, we'll make one a collider actually. So we'll make our Ubuntu one a collider, and we'll keep this one, the CentOS one, a normal full node. So with that being said, let's go and, all right, everything looks good there, and let's hope it doesn't blow and not work. Oh, permission denied, man. I forgot. Oh, we see that command right there? We didn't have pure state Moonbeam locally, so it's pulling it down from pulling from the pure state Moonbeam repository or whatnot. And I'm not sure if it's coming from Docker or Moonbeam somewhere, but we're pulling it down. So now we're pulling the images and everything down, and bam, we got stuff going. It's initializing the Genesis block, so we're connecting to the Moon. We're connecting to the relay chain and all that good stuff. Oh, the pair chain, and we're grabbing our Genesis block. So let's go head over to the Ubuntu server. Now again, we're going to run this as a collator, and so we're going to add this particular line to our syntax. So let's go and copy this again. And we're going to change this, our name, to IT J Cole, yeah, IT J Cole, huh? Yes, the lyrical assassin, I guess, huh? So let's see what we got. All right. So we are on Ubuntu, and our CentOS is still busy. We see, still getting headers, connecting to the relay chain. Yeah, we got everything going on there, right? Let's go down to the bottom. All right. So just go ahead and insert. All right. Okay it. And we're going to name this node ITJCole. ITJCole. Yeah. Oh no. What's going on? Oh, I didn't know that. We're going to exit out of that one. So, heads up, make sure you add everything before you actually enter the command in. Or you change everything before you enter the command in. So, I'll have to re-enter that. Alright. So, I'll do it from here. ITJCole. ITJCole, and we need to add our validator line. Validator. There we go. All right, there we go. So as we can see, Docker run network host -v pruning Oh, I know what I'm talking about. ITJCol, that's what I'm calling it. ITJCol, and the most thing, we're now a collider with validator. They're set. Now we're going to enter this. Make sure everything's good. Everything looks good. And that's right, permission denied, huh? Don't have it locally, so we're going to download it, and we are starting the download. So we now have both of them working on a CentOS version platform and Ubuntu. The syntax is exactly the same for Debian. So if you have Debian, you can do the same thing exactly. We just went through it in Ubuntu. Only difference is, again, is that make sure that you up here on the Docker portion of it, change Ubuntu to Debian if you're going to use Debian. So did I spell something wrong? Oh, I spelled validator wrong. Gosh dang it. I can't even spell. So we got to go back and do it again, people. So we're going to copy that again and just enter this back. Put some space in there. Ah, I forgot to change it. Oh, I don't even have it in there. I got to add all this back in there. Alright, so we're going to do this real quick. TJ Cole. Validator / okay. Now everything's in there correctly. Is it? We spelled it right. Alright, so enter. Permission denied. Sudo. There we go. Oh, that's right. I have to log in with my other user. Is it just IT? Yes, there we go. Alright. So, let's get some space in here. So if you want to get rid of this to save you some space, you can just do export ps1 equals, let's get one of these in there, \w \money sign. Yeah, and these clear, and it'll make it small. Wait a minute. Did it just, oh man. Okay, log me out of my username. Well, I'm not sure how we can make it without logging me back out, so we'll keep that as is. Oh man, that means I have to no, we're just gonna copy up. Alright, so now let's get our, actually I don't know if this is going to work because I'd have to give my username sudo privileges to run Docker. We'll see though, people, we'll see. So now we have to go back again and add itjcol validator and itjcol. I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to keep doing this if I mess up again. And I don't have permission for this. I do not. Nope. So we're just going to go back and change the username. To the local guy. Alright, there we go. Alright. We'll create another video to see how we can get that working without having to do sudo on that particular command. But let's go back and do this again. So what I just did was I just went back and I just changed the owner of this file to the current user logged in. So itjcol validator. Yeah, I said it right that time, huh? itjcol. Oh, let's go back to the command prompt. Sorry about that. Oh, you can't see right now anyways. And enter. I always forget to do sudo. And there we go. We are pulling it down. So we got to see what's up with that. Alright. So let's see where our other one is at. Decrease that font size a little bit. There we go. Alright, so while that's doing that, now one thing about this is though is that if you close out this command line, like if you exit it, if your computer shuts down, not your computer, but you don't want your server that is running on to shut down. But if you're remotely logged in, if you lose this command line connection, if you exit off of it, if you disconnect from your server, then it will stop running. Your node will stop running. And the way to get around that is you'd have to make this run as a daemon service from the from when you enter in the command. So how we can do that is we can go ahead and stop. So let me give you an example. So let's just duplicate this tab real quick and let's log in. Get out of there. Let's go ahead and get our syntax in there. Make that short. So again, that command just makes it to where it makes everything shorter. Alright, so what we're going to do here is if we do px or no, actually let's do netstat. We can see in netstat, let's just exit off of that. can see in this that we got connections going out. But PS aux will show us all of our active connections. Let me decrease this font size. Alright, there we go. You can see it better now. Alright, there we go. So as you can see right here, we have Docker running. But that's because it's running right here. If we were to Control C right here, or Control Z, exit, stop running. Oh, let's just disconnect. We're just going to close that tab. For some reason I can't disconnect it. Now we do PS aux. Oh, it still shows it running. I didn't realize it. Okay, it's just showing the command. So we did netstat again, and as you can see, after running netstat, we no longer have any outgoing connections happening at the moment. So if we scroll back up, where we had all these connections with the ports that we use for Moonbeam, going out, coming in, going out. And remember, the ports we use are 3033, 30334. Those are the ports we use for Moonbeam. And now that nothing's running now, just because we closed that window. Now, how you can fix that or add to that is by doing the following. Let's go back to our, there we go. And I'm going to add this to it. I didn't think about adding it, but I'm going to add this to it. What we'll do is, right here, we're going to add -d. If you put -d after run, it will run it as a daemon service, so it will run in the back end. So then you can close out the, your connection to the command line. You can Control C it if it works for you, and it will still run in the back end. It won't stop the service. So let's go back to our command line. We're pretty much almost done here. I just want to show you this. So we're going to go back to our folder, or to the build chart. We're going to grab this again. Oh no, I saved it. That's right. I don't have to keep typing. Oh no, I didn't. Never mind. We're going to grab that, I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go back and change these names up again. TJ Cole. / and ITJ Cole. And I can't forget to put my -d up there. Alright, push enter on that. So as you can see now, with the original command, I added this -d to the command, and that tells Docker to run as a background service in daemon. So if we go back here, you can see it's not there. We add the -d. It allows it to run as a background service. And I forgot to do sudo once again. So just up arrow, Control A, sudo. Oh, now you see, we don't see anything now. Why? Because it's running in the backend. What we can do is journal grep and 30334, I think. Or I guess that's if there's an issue. There's no issue right now, so. But we can do netstat. All right. There we go. We have all the connections coming in and out. I can Control C it. It's still running. All right. So we're going to go to phase 3 now. And phase 3 is just, we're going to view the nodes. We're down at phase 3 now. So to view the telemetry, just click on this link right here. It'll take you to the Polkadot telemetry service for Moonbeam AlphaNet. Now what you can do once you get here, as I note in here, oh, not there. Oh, that's right. Just start typing and it'll show whatever you named your node. So we named our node IT, so just we start typing, bam, and we can see both of our, I don't know if you can see that all the way. Let me there we go. Okay, there we go. As you can see, we can see both of our ITJ call and ITJ. ITJY is our CentOS version. ITJ call is our Ubuntu version. Now, see what happens if I close this out on CentOS. Or if I just exit out of the, actually you'll probably be able to see it live, but as soon as I exit off of this, it will stop. Let's wait and see. Give it a reload. Just type in IT. Oh, it's still there. Maybe I'm just wrong. But anyways, people. I thought it was like instant. Go away. Okay, it disappeared. There we go. So that's a trick you can do. Just add the -d after run, and it will run in the background, and you can close out the window, and it'll still run, and it'll still be connecting to the telemetry service. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial. There is one more section in there, and that's just to upgrade. We don't have an upgrade to do, but to upgrade, you just stop your Dockers with this right here. You could just do this right here, sudo docker stop it to stop it. Or you can grab the container ID, put it in there, and stop it that way. Then after that, you just go and change this to the current Moonbeam version in version I don't know why it's doing that. And repeat phase 2, step 3. Phase 2 is here. Step 3 is run Docker node right here. So we're just going to change this, and we're going to make sure we update the Moonbeam version right here to the current one. And we're just going to rerun make sure we got the node name we want, or that we're supposed to have. If it's a validator, make sure you add a validator, and so forth. So that's it right there, people, ladies and gentlemen. How to install Moonbeam Node. Thanks for watching.